Don't let my bow tie mislead you. Travel Locations is not in the US, it's Europe once again, and this time it's Hungary, Budapest. Woohoo! Budapest is not just a city, it's a sultry seductress that lures you into its beautiful history, charms you with its bewitching sights, and haunts you with its eclectic underground ruin bars in old dilapidated buildings. Oh my goddess! The moment you land here, you know it's love at first sight, first sound, and first smell. And to thoroughly enjoy this beautiful city, your location is extremely important. Budapest is divided into two parts, Buda on the west and Pest on the east side of the Danube River. District 5 in Pest is an ideal place to stay as it's closest to all tourist attractions and abounds with cool cafes and bars. I, however, neither stayed in Buda nor Pest. I decided to spend my vacation on an island tucked between Buda and Pest, right in the middle of the Danube River. I stayed at the Grand Hotel on the Margaret Island, a cozy 4-star spa hotel that's around 150 years old and is extremely peaceful. The good thing is that you don't need to go outside and shell out extra money for the famous Budapest thermal baths, as the hotel offers you free access to thermal pools, steam, sauna, and even their fitness club. The flip side, however, was its remote location. Though easily connected by bus number 26 that takes you in and out of the island every 15 minutes or so, yet it sometimes makes you feel disconnected from the buzz of the city. I have to tell you this, I once missed my 11 o'clock last bus to the island and I had to walk 2 kilometers through the woods in the dark. Spooky shit. So if you're planning to stay on the island, be ready to travel for at least 10 kilometers before you tick all your tourist hotspots. Buda Castle is home to Hungarian royalty, and the castle district area houses many of Budapest's historic attractions, like the gorgeous 700 years old Matthias Church and the famous Fisherman's Bastion. The 7 towers here represent the 7 tribes that founded Hungary. You can take the famous funicular ride to the top of the hill, but I feel it's such a tourist trap. It's not very expensive, hardly $6 for a return journey, but nothing really beats the fun of walking up and down the hill, stopping as and when you please, taking a million pictures on the way, and of course burning all your extra calories. And then, when you spot the famous Budapest cheesecake, lovingly looking at you, tempting you, gluttony ceases to be one of the 7 sins, and guilt can go and take a hike. So if you're planning to indulge, then make sure that Roosevelt Cafe is your only option right at the top of the hill. That has been around for last 200 years and has been making some delicious homemade cakes and coffee. As you come down the hill, you touch another landmark of the city, the Chain Bridge. I'm walking one of the most iconic bridges here in Budapest. It's called the Chain Bridge, that was constructed in 1896, the first bridge ever in Budapest to permanently connect Buda with Pest. Buda with Pest. The architect was so confident and so proud of his construction that he challenged everyone to find any fault in this bridge. Somebody pointed out that the 4 lines that you see at both ends of the bridge, they had their tongues missing. You will not believe, the architect after that committed suicide. I was told this story by one of the locals and I silently hoped that it wasn't true. Besides tragic history, you will not believe the Chain Bridge once shifted its address all the way to Italy. What? Right behind me is the famous chain bridge that was featured in Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam. Except the film was supposed to be shot in Italy. So basically, Sanjay Leela Bhansali lied to us. I don't know why filmmakers do that. It's almost like showing Taj Mahal and saying that the film was shot in Bangladesh or Sri Lanka. After exposing this Bollywood blunder, I caught a tram to my next stop, Gellert Hill. This Statue of Liberty right at the top of the hill can be seen from most parts of the city, which was constructed to celebrate the liberation from the Nazi rule. Once a vineyard and a natural point of defense, Gellert Hill is now a big tourist attraction. Your phone, I bet, will automatically shift to panoramic mode, capturing the gorgeous views of the city. It's almost like a real map of the city laid out in front of you, making your orientation much easier. You can take bus number 27, but I would suggest a 30-minute hike would be far better. Who goes to Europe and gets a tan? That'll be me. Looking really tan right now. But I'm very, very happy because this pretty much is going to become a signature shot of travel locations. Of all the cities that I go to, I always go to the vantage point of the city and take a bird's eye view of the city that I'm visiting. Budapest looks absolutely gorgeous from the top of the hill that I'm standing on right now. Come, have a look. Gellert Hill is in Buda. The green Liberty Bridge that you see right opposite the hill will take you to Pest. Don't forget to stop and take a million pictures on the bridge. You can either walk across, take the tram, or even a ferry to go to the Pest side of the city. Each ferry ride will cost you around 750 Hungarian forints, which is close to $3. But if you wish to spend more time on the boat, well, we have arrangements for that as well. If you're in Budapest, you might want to do a cruise on the Danube River because it gives you spectacular views of both Buda and Pest. I always get my Buda and Pest confused, of both Buda and Pest. The banks of the Danube is a UNESCO World Heritage, by the way, best explored on an evening sightseeing cruise that includes major bridges of the city and iconic buildings like the Parliament. For a 2-hour cruise, you will shell out close to $20 to $30. And once you have romanced the landmarks from the river, you can spot them once again from the Budapest Eye. Located in Pest, the Budapest Eye ride hardly costs you around $10, and the iconic buildings that you see during the day light up in floodlights and they look even more gorgeous at night. As you come down, make sure you explore the nightlife around the Budapest Eye. Enjoy the locals thronging the pubs and the cafes, the live music that fills the air with such excitement, ride a Vespa or pretend to do so and just soak in the high-octane energy of the place. Speaking of energy, don't forget to explore the ruin bars in District 7 in Pest side of the city. The idea is simple: old buildings filled with flea market furniture, alcohol served, and people just flock in to have a good time. This is pretty much the Hoskas village of Delhi. Local music, local smiles, and how about local food? Well, not too far away. If you feel hungry in Hungary, I'm so sorry, I couldn't resist that one. But if you're a vegetarian and if you feel hungry here, then life could be a little difficult for you. But thankfully, all of Europe is now warming up to veganism. And food in Budapest just doesn't mean paprika. I tried a couple of local flavors here, including goulash, by the way. I know goulash is your traditional hot soup that's made of meat stew and vegetables and fried noodles, but the chef was kind enough to make a vegetarian version of it for me. If you want to try some local flavors, some authentic Hungarian street food, then Country Hall Market is the place to be. Okay, my bad. It's not called Country Hall Market, but Central Market Hall, which is a 2-minute walk from Calvin Ter metro station, and it sells local street Hungarian products. Be it fresh from the farm, fruits and vegetables, or fun souvenirs for friends and family, the hall has it all. Oh, that rhymes. Go on to the first floor that serves local flavors of Budapest. Besides goulash, I tried langos, that are fried breads served with toppings of your choice. It's basically the Indian bhatura, except a few shades cheesier and far unhealthier. I would love to say I thoroughly enjoyed it, but truth be told, it was a bit too heavy and an acquired taste. From street bites to fine dining delights, wow, I'm on a rhyming roll today. I found another gem called Chana Noshi Sharda. Well, if you're traveling to Europe, then make sure that you carry a microscope along with you, because looking for a vegetarian option in a menu that's bursting with its steaks and meats is quite a task. I'm in the Buda side of Budapest, and I finally managed to find a restaurant that has a proper section dedicated for all the vegetarians. I'm trying a typical Hungarian spaghetti with sour cream and cheese, really delicious. A little too thick for my taste, but delicious nonetheless. It's called Chalanoshi Charda, if I got the name right. Chalanoshi, the person here told me, is the name of a forest, by the way, in Hungary, and Charda means place to eat, I guess, in Hungarian. So yeah, it's delicious and it's nice. If you're a vegetarian, you might want to try this restaurant. The restaurant had a fun deal, 3 sixes and the dinner will be free. Nah, bad luck. Amidst 1,000 old cafes in Budapest, I thought I found the best one. Prima Pek. Nope, I didn't have to ask anyone or look up on the internet. I just had to look. After all, popularity is the best endorsement. And this, by the way, is at 7:30 in the morning, huh? The buns, breads and pastries at Prima Pek will transport you to a happy place. Transport. Transport. Get it? Get it? Transport here in Budapest is a bit extensive and hence a little confusing. There are trams and buses and metro and ferries going in all directions. You don't know what to take and what to miss. So I would suggest, at least on the first day, take a daily pass. It's going to cost you some 5,000 Hungarian forints, which is 18 or 19 US dollars. That way you can get onto any bus and any tram and lose your way multiple times and not be bothered about buying tickets every half an hour. Or if you're like me, and if you want to explore the city on foot, then I would suggest just walk. And if walking is not your thing, then you have many options. Buses, trams and the metro system. Do you know? After London, Budapest has the oldest underground train system in Europe. The main station is Diacter, where all 3 metro lines meet. But there are a few things you might want to keep in mind before you travel. If you're planning to take the public transport here in Budapest, then you might want to have these tickets. One ticket means one ride, no matter you're taking 5 stops or 10 stops or 15 stops. The ticket vending machines are not easily available all over the Budapest, so you might want to have these tickets, and plenty many of them in your pocket, because they fly before you can even imagine. You cannot buy these tickets on the tram. However, you can buy them on the bus with an extra 100 Hungarian forints. Budapest Airport is 20 to 30 kilometers away from the city center. If you're coming for the first time, I would suggest take the taxi. It's going to be a little steep. It's going to cost you somewhere around 10,000 Hungarian forints, which is 35 to 36 US dollars. But if you want to take the public transport and save some money, then it might get a little tricky. There are no direct trains or direct buses from the airport to the city center. The only bus that takes off from the airport is 200E, that will drop you at this station called Kőbánya Kispest. From there you have to take another bus or another tram or another metro, which is going to cost you another set of tickets. The metro station in the center of Pest is Diacter, where all the 3 metro lines meet, and from there you can either walk to your hotel
और take another tram or another bus to your hotel. If the taxi is going to cost you around 35 to 36 US dollars, then the public transport will cost you somewhere around 10 to 15 US dollars.
I admit this is a pseudo I'm so lost in the city kind of a shot where I know exactly where the camera is. Truth be told, I'm thinking whether you're going to subscribe to my channel or not. I work very hard, yeah. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, Travel Locations. Public transport also tells you so much about the city and its people. For instance, a lady on the tram once told me that as a rule, no building in Budapest can be more than 96 meters because two main buildings, the Parliament and St. Stephen's Basilica, set the precedent as they both stand tall at 96 meters and no other building can be taller than them. So unlike Delhi, if you want to convert your terrace into a floor for your newly wedded beta and bahu, no, that's not happening. Budapest is full of stories. You'll be confused what you like more, the city or its people. People in Budapest, in one word, are extremely kind and helpful. Okay, my bad. Those are two words. But people are always willing to help here, even when you're not seeking their help. For example, if you're struggling how to punch the ticket on the tram or on the bus, people will actually come and do it for you. Language is a barrier, if not a problem. But the world here communicates with you in the universal language of signs and signals and gestures, and most importantly, love and smiles. You know, I've traveled a lot of Europe, and in some parts of Europe, if people are a little snooty, a little shy, despite the language barrier, people here in Budapest are extremely helpful and always kind. Kind not only to human beings, but practically to everyone. However, I had a few hiccups as well, was overcharged for a meal at a restaurant and then charged for things I never knew I would ever be. In Budapest, they charge you extra money for practically everything. Yesterday I went to a grocery store, bought myself some stuff, they charged me extra money for a polythene. Alright, understandable. Extra ketchup at a restaurant, extra money, that's also understandable. But today they have crossed all the limits. They charged me extra money for this. I kid you not, if you buy an ice cream, you have to pay extra money for this. Anyway, this is precious. I have paid money for this, so let me enjoy my ice cream. My ice cream is also over now. What's going on, man? Budapest has a lot to offer. All you gotta do is lift your face from your Snapchat stories to realize that those Snapchat filters are indeed for real.